Marcus Chen wiped the sweat from his brow as he surveyed the delta region of Kepler 442b. The terraforming outpost had been his home for 6 months now, a solitary existence punctuated only by the hum of atmospheric processors and the occasional message from Earth. The planet's native inhabitants, the Velkara, kept their distance from human settlements, a mutual arrangement that suited both species just fine. The morning had started like any other until Marcus heard the sound, a high-pitched warble that cut through the dense air like a distress beacon. He grabbed his field kit and followed the noise toward the marshlands, an area he'd been warned to avoid during his orientation. The quicksand pits there were notorious, capable of swallowing a full-grown human in minutes. What he found made him freeze mid-step. A Velkara was trapped waist-deep in the gray, churning sand, her forearms flailing desperately. Her chitinous plates, normally an iridescent purple, had dulled to an ashen gray, a sign of extreme distress in her species. The translator clipped to Marcus's belt crackled to life, converting her warbles into broken standard. Help, sinking, cannot. Marcus didn't hesitate. He'd read the cultural briefings about the Velkara, how they valued strength, how they rarely asked for help, how their clan structure was built on honor and debt. But in that moment, none of it mattered. Someone was dying, and he had the means to help. He quickly secured his climbing rope to a nearby rock formation, testing its strength twice before approaching the pit's edge. "Don't struggle," he called out, hoping his translator would convey the urgency. Movement makes it worse. The Velkara's large compound eyes fixed on him with a mixture of fear and confusion. Humans were supposed to be fragile, weak creatures who relied on their machines, yet here one was voluntarily approaching danger. Marcus formed a lasso and threw it on his third attempt. The Velkara managed to loop it around her upper torso with 2 of her arms. "On 3, Marcus said, bracing himself. 1, 2, 3. He pulled with everything he had, his muscles screaming in protest. The quicksand released its victim with obscene slowness. Each inch gained feeling like a minor victory. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. His hands burned from rope friction. His back threatened to give out. But Marcus didn't stop. Finally, with one last desperate heave, the Velkara broke free from the sand's grip. She collapsed on solid ground, gasping in great, shuddering breaths. Her body was coated in the gray sludge, but she was alive. Marcus slumped beside her, chest heaving. "You okay?" he managed between breaths. The Velkara stared at him for a long moment, her translator struggling with whatever she was trying to say. Finally, she managed, "You saved life debt." She touched her chest with one hand, then pointed at Marcus. Remembered. Before he could respond, she'd vanished into the dense foliage with surprising speed, leaving only tracks in the soft earth and a confused xenobiologist wondering what he'd just gotten himself into. 3 days passed without incident. Marcus returned to his routine, checking atmospheric readings, maintaining the processors, documenting local flora. He'd almost convinced himself the encounter had been just another strange day on an alien world. Then they came. Marcus was calibrating sensors when he noticed the procession. Dozens of Velkara emerged from the forest, moving in perfect formation. At their head was the one he'd rescued, now cleaned and adorned with intricate metal bands that marked her as someone important. Behind her walked a massive Velkara, nearly twice the size of the others, wearing a ceremonial cloak woven from bioluminescent fibers. His blood ran cold. He'd saved the daughter of a clan chief. The procession stopped outside his habitat. The chief stepped forward, and when he spoke, the translator rendered his words with unexpected gravity. "Human Marcus Chen, you saved Shira, first daughter of the Crimson Plateau clan. You asked nothing, expected nothing. This is rare." Marcus stepped outside, acutely aware that he was surrounded. "I did what anyone would do." The chief's mandibles clicked in what the database labeled as amusement. "No, most would not. Your people build walls, keep separate. But you saw only someone who needed help." He gestured broadly. "Among Velkara, life debt is sacred. Unpaid debt brings shame. But how does one repay the saving of a chief's daughter? What happened next would be recorded in both human and Velkara histories." The chief raised one of his forearms, and the Velkara began unloading supplies, advanced water filtration systems that would have cost Earth millions, rare minerals essential for terraforming, sealed containers of medicines that human science had been unable to synthesize. But more than that, they offered knowledge, maps of safe passages through the marshlands, warnings about the planet's seasonal storms, locations of geothermal vents that could power 3 more outposts. "This is too much," Marcus protested. You risked your life," Shira interrupted, stepping forward. "In Quicksand, you would have been pulled in too. You knew this, yet you came anyway." Her compound eyes seemed to sparkle with something that transcended species. "That is not just anything," the chief nodded solemnly. "Today, debt is honored. But more than this, today, alliance begins. Your people save lives, value individuals over politics. This is strength we respect." He extended his primary arm in the Velkara gesture of friendship. "The Crimson Plateau clan offers protection, partnership, and passage. Your colony will never walk alone on this world." As Marcus clasped the chief's arm, feeling the smooth, chitinous texture against his palm, he understood something profound. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their adaptability. It was simpler than that and infinitely more powerful. It was seeing someone drowning in quicksand and deciding, without hesitation, that their life mattered enough to risk your own. That evening, as the Velkara celebration fires burned bright against the alien sky, Marcus sent a message to Earth. First contact protocols may need revision. Turns out empathy is a universal language. Requesting approval for joint settlement expansion. The Velkara are ready to share their world. All it took was one human willing to get his hands dirty. Under the 3 moons of Kepler 442b, 2 species began building something neither had expected. A future together, founded not on treaties or trade agreements, but on a simple act of compassion in a marshland far from home.